Congruent figures. Today we're going to be looking at congruent figures. These are an example of a congruent polygon. So all the sides and angles have to be congruent to each other. You can see we have the quadrilateral four-sided figure ABCD is congruent to EFGH. Now it's color-coded there. It's not always going to be, but it's color-coded there to help keep things straight here. But when we say that, that means each side and each angle is congruent. And it's not enough just to say that you can't just write out ABCD is congruent to GFEH or HGFE. You have to write it to where the angles correspond, okay? So you see how the angle A and the angle E correspond? So A and E are always going to be in the same position. B and F would be in the same position. They'd be second. C and G would be third. D and H would be fourth, okay? So it's got to be listed in the same order in the corresponding order. So we have some other ways that we can do this. You've got ABCD is congruent to EFGH. What about ADCB? So this one would not be. In fact, ADBC is not even one. It's not a valid way to write this. So if I was looking at this one, I'd say that's a big no. Okay. So our next one, BCDA. Is it congruent to FGHE? Well, BCDA, B would go with F, checks out. C would go with G. D would go with H, and A would go with E. So this one's a good one. So is BADC and FEHG. There's a lot of ways that you could write these to be congruent to each other, but you have to make sure that they make sense. In other words, they got to go in order around the polygon, and the angles must match exactly. The third angles theorem, this is a new theorem that we're going to look at just kind of briefly. I'm going to show you a proof here. So if we know two angles of the triangle are congruent, the third angle will have to be congruent. And this comes down to the fact that if I know two of these angles are congruent, then if I know two of the angles, I can figure out what the third angle is from the angle sum. So the third angle would be the same for each one of these. Now let's look at a proof. Now this proof is a little bit more complicated than what we've seen before, but let's just take a look at it. It's a third angle theorem. So I know A is congruent to D and B is congruent to E. I want to prove that C and F are congruent. So we start off with our given, that the angles are congruent to each other. Then we turn those into measures. Because we're adding measures together, we don't add the angles together. So measure A equals measure D, measure B equals measure E. Then I know that angle A plus B plus C is 180, so is angle D plus E plus F. They're both 180, so they're both equal to the same thing. That means that if in my fourth statement, measure A plus measure B plus measure C equals measure D plus measure E plus measure F. Okay, now from the fourth to fifth, something very interesting happens. It's measure A plus B plus C. Now it's measure D plus E plus C. What happened? This happened. I used this stuff from statement 2. Statement 2 says that angle A and angle D have the same measure. So I replace angle A with angle D. And I replace angle B with angle E. Now the reason why I do that is because I've got a D and an E over here. I've got D and E over there. Guys, they cancel out. I can subtract each one of these to end up with angle C, measure angle C equals measure angle F, which is what we're trying to prove, that angle C has got to be congruent to angle F. Okay, so that's a pretty neat proof. And I think it's pretty understandable. Okay, for the next one, we're looking at completing the following statements. So, given two triangles are congruent, how do we how do we prove that? Well, let's look at what we've got. It says triangle BAT is congruent to triangle FOR. So if I think about this, that means that angle B and F are congruent, angle A and O are congruent, angle T and R are congruent. Okay. It also means that the sides are congruent. So BA would be congruent to FA, AT would be congruent to OR, BT, that's the other one, would be congruent to FR. Well, TA is listed backwards. It's T and then A, but all I have to do is match the T with the third term, which is R, and the A with the second term, which is O. Okay? So TA is congruent to RO. If I look at the next part, it says, what's the angle R congruent to? Angle R is the third angle. Angle T is the third angle, so angle R is congruent to angle T. Okay? All right. Let's get into this next one. We have a situation where we're looking at pentagons. Okay, so I think a fairly straightforward way to write this is if I looked at the pentagon, and I said that's pentagon ABCDE. Okay? ABCDE has got to be congruent to something. Now I'm looking over here. You can see how this is in a different location. So what I want to do is I want to make sure that my angles matched up. See, angle A has got that single line, and angle V has got that single line. So A and V should match up. Okay. Okay, so let's look at angle B next. Angle B is a single line with the two hash marks through it. So the line with the two hash marks through it over here is angle W. Okay. Angle C and X. Angle D and T. Angle E corresponds to U. So my pentagon congruence here, ABCDE, is congruent to VWXTU. Now that's what we claim. Let's make sure that it works out. If we look at this, AB, that's this line. Is that congruent to VW? No. Okay, we're back with a slight glitch. That was the older version of the software. Sorry about that. So AB is congruent to VW. 3 marks, 3 marks. BC has 2 marks. That's congruent to WX. CD is congruent to XT. DE is congruent to TU. So again, swapping out the stuff, a little bit weird. TU is congruent to DE. You can see the IV mark. And finally, UV, which is the first and the last, is congruent to EA. Okay? So all 5 angles, all 5 sides must be congruent. Now that's not the only way that we can write this situation. We've got other ways that we could write this. In fact, I could start with any line that I wanted to. I could say, well, what if I wanted to say, what is WXTUV congruent to? So if I went WXTUV, I've got to start with my angle W, which I know corresponds to the angle over here, which is, so angle W corresponds to angle B. Okay, so that would be B. Angle X corresponds to angle C. Angle T corresponds to angle D. Angle U corresponds to angle E. Finally, angle V corresponds to angle A. So I've got WXTUV congruent to BCDA. There's a lot of different ways you could write this. There's not one right or wrong way. But there are a lot of also wrong ways that you can write this. You have to make sure that your angles match, and you have to make sure that you have the correct order. In other words, you can't start saying like A, D, C, B, E or something like that, because that's not in order. They have to be consecutive sides here. Okay, so we're very near the end of the notes. Last thing is, how do you find the measure of the other angles if you're given these 3 things? So, okay, So ABC is congruent to XYZ. So angle A is 30. Well, angle Z is also 30. I'm sorry, angle X is also 30. Okay. If angle Z is 80, then angle C is also 80. Okay. So if I were to put this in, I know angle, now this is not to scale, so this is A, B, C. So angle A is 30, right? Angle C is 80. So that leaves us with angle B. How do I figure this out? Well, 80 plus 30 is 110. So B would be 180 minus 110. Okay? So angle B here would be 70. So in a nutshell, we know all the angles. Okay? So it's just a matter of me figuring out what the other angles are. Okay? So what is the measure of angle B? We determine that's 70 degrees. Okay? Angle C, that's 80 degrees. Angle X, well, angle X is the same as angle A, so that would be 30 degrees. Oops. And finally, angle Y is the same as angle B. It would also be 70 degrees. So we can figure out all the angles knowing a couple of them. We use the fact that the angles are congruent to figure that other part out. Okay? Okay, our last part. If I'm trying to figure out if these two triangles are congruent, I need to come up with a reason if they are or if they're not. So I'm looking over here. I see it looks like AD and AB are congruent. DC and BC are congruent. So there's two congruent lines here. But then I've got this AC. Now AC is shared by both of them. Do you see that? So what I like to do to mark this, I'm just going to do this little X. Now what that X means is that they're shared. So AC is part of both triangles ADC and ABC. And so we have all three sides are congruent, which is good. Okay. The next one, we know that angle D and angle B, they're both right angles. So angle D is congruent to angle B. And finally, we have these two other angles. So we know this is 90, this is 50. That makes this angle down here would have to be 40. Okay? Because 90 plus 50 plus 40 equals 180. Well, if this is 40 and this is 90, that makes this 150. So we had to figure it out. But once we did figure it out, lo and behold, we've got all of the things that we need. So let's think about what we do know. We know that angle D is congruent to angle B. We're going to have to label the other ones. Angle DAC is congruent to angle, DAC would be congruent to angle BAC. And finally, angle DCA is congruent to angle BCA. Okay? And we also know that AD is congruent to AB, and CD is congruent to CB. And we also have this interesting statement that says AC is congruent to itself. Okay? So we have three angles and three sides. Therefore, our triangles have to be congruent. So I could say that triangle ABC is congruent to triangle ADC. Or I could say there's a lot of other ways I could say CAB is congruent to CAD, but I just have to make sure that my angles all correspond. Now A and C have to correspond because that's where they're at, and just have to make sure that the B and the D correspond as well. Okay, so it's very critical that you do this and that it matches up like so. So that's it for the lesson. I'll be back next class.